Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our presentation title is Application of Murabahah Contract in Islamic Banking Sectors. Before we start our presentation, we would like to introduce our presenters. There are 4 presenters to present in this slide presentation. First, Raja Muhammad Haris bin Raja Mazram. Second, Nur Azrin binti Muhammad Azhar. Third, Nur Aina Sakinah binti Samsur, and the last is Nurul Jamina binti Zaimani. Introduction. Murabahah is a financing system used by most Islamic banking institutions, and most of Islamic banking institutions are using Murabahah as their financing operation. The term of Murabahah has been widely used in the banking system, especially in the Islamic banking sectors. Murabahah is one of the contracts under Sharia, and it is known as trust sale. This is requiring integrity of a seller to disclose the cost and also the profit to the purchaser. What is Murabahah? Murabahah can be defined as a sale in which the acquisition cost and the markup are disclosed to the purchaser. It may be contracted either on a cash basis or on a deferred payment basis. The seller in this contract must expressly disclose to the purchaser how much cost he has incurred and how much profit he is going to earn in addition to the cost. Murabahah transaction occurs when the seller agrees with the buyer to make the transaction after determining several things, including the profit that will be earned by the seller. The concept of Murabahah is the seller disclose the actual cost used and the increase in profit to the buyer. The buyer has the right to know something such as the cost used by the seller and also the profit that the seller will gain in the transaction.
Definition of Murabahah contract in Islamic banking. First, the bank should make the cost or capital outlay known to the customer. Second, the bank should disclose fully and full on the asset and any related that occurs after the purchase. And the last, the bank should disclose all the terms on which its acquisition is made.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Azrin binti Muhammad Azhar, and I will explain about conditions of Murabahah contract in Islamic banking. First of all, the bank should make the cost or capital outlay known to the customer. The cost of capital outlay must be the historical cost of acquisition. For example, public bank, the commodity Murabahah transaction shall be executed by the customer, instructing the bank as an agent to enter into a purchase transaction for the purchase of the commodity for the amount desired to be deposited during the tenure. Then, the customer shall immediately pay the purchase price to the bank for the purchase transaction. Following that, the bank as agent for and on behalf of the customer will purchase the commodity at the purchase price from the supplier for the deposit period. The customer thereafter may sell and the bank may purchase the commodity at a deferred sale transaction. Second, the bank should disclose fully any fault on the asset and any related impact that occurs after the purchase. This is to decide whether the historical value will remain or materially change due to the fault after purchase. The bank should be clear with the customer before doing the transaction. Third, The bank should disclose also the terms on which the acquisition is made, whether there is any impact on ownership, rights, and pricing. For example, if the purchase was made on credit and the credit is outstanding, the ownership by the bank is therefore not absolute unless the credit obligations are settled in such instances. The buyer may decide to pay off the acquisition amount directly to the original seller to remove any obligations or claims on the asset. Then, the contract must be free from riba because it can cause a lot of problems. But if the customer could not get the conditions, they will be given the options, which are the customer will proceed with the sale as it is, then the customer have resources to the seller for such discrepancy, or cancel the contract.
The condition of the profit. Firstly, cost of fund. Second, overhead. And third, profit of margin.
First of all, the cost of funds for Islamic banking is about the amount of profit should be considered to fund. The amount of profit is not guaranteed in the contract. The cost, which is used by Islamic banking in financing either through the Murabahah saving account or other shareholders fund and the Islamic interbank money market. The amount of profit is calculated as a cost of fund, which later being used by Islamic banks as a component of profit rate in Murabahah financing. Second, overhead cost or indirect cost is the cost that contributes to the Murabahah product indirectly. The existence of this cost is essential for a successful business. Items of overhead costs for each Islamic banking in Malaysia are almost the same, namely the promotion costs, establishment costs, and general expenses. The cost of salaries, bonuses, allowances, and social contributions are included in the personnel cost, in which the cost is borne entirely by the bank. However, direct costs such as attorney's fees, photocopies are charged to the customer whenever the financing is handled. Lastly is profit margin. Profit margin is a profit earned by the Islamic bank for every 1 ringgit used in financing in a certain period of time. It is also called the rate of return on sale. The profit margin is calculated based on the amount of financing, and the bank will produce the exact amount of profit taken by the bank throughout the period of financing.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will explain about the application of Murabahah in Islamic finance and banking, such as letter of credit, cash line facilities, and term financing. Okay, Murabahah products are widely used in Malaysia bank. So, among the types of Murabahah contract, system application according to the sale agreement between the bank and the receipt. According to the custom used, the method of purchase of goods required by the customer and then sold to the customer at cost plus margin. This indicates that the profit margin has been agreed by the Islamic bank with its customer. Islamic banking has allowed for a down payment if both parties agree. However, the introduction is not identified in the Islamic finance system, which also include prohibits trading and is different from the current Islamic finance system. The bank has given the customer the option if they do not agree or want to cancel the Murabahah contract, then the customer must compensate the Islamic financial institution from the agreed advance money. There are two conditions of financing used in Murabahah contracts, such as consumptive financing and productive financing. Consumptive financing is financing used to meet consumption needs which will be used to meet needs. Product financing is financing that is shown to meet product needs in a broad sense to enhance business, whether production, trade or investment business. Definition of letter credit is an arrangement name or as planned at any bank. The issuing bank act when the customer asks the applicant make a request to the bank. The purpose is to place an order to a third party that is the beneficiary or receive and pay the exchange bill that it as a draft made by the beneficiary. This letter of credit authorizes the bank to make payment or to receive or pay draft exchange bills. This letter of credit is also a material for the bank to negotiate in accordance with the document that have been set in accordance with the term of the credit term comply. It also empower the bank to accept different payment agreement from customer. For example, statement from the issued bank in accordance with the importer request shown to the exporter through the adversary bank stating that the issuing bank will pay a sum of money in accordance with the term of the letter of credit that has been set. It also facilitates the outflow of goods from one place to another domestically or internationally. The function LC cover and resolve problem from the importer with the exporter, a guarantee of smooth payment and acceptance according to the agreement made by term. It has facilities through the bank. This is because LC can provide payment facility in advance or according to certain period. Secondly, cash line facilities. The meaning of cash lines according to Maybank is an overdraft facilities provides to customer for personal use as an asset and real which is not contrary to the principle of Islamic law. This context applies the community Murabahah and Tawaruk, which is a contract of sale and purchase on deferred payment, making it a commodity in accordance with Islamic law, which while be identified and as an intermediate asset between the bank and the customer and third parties obtain financing fund from the sale of the commodity. This shows that the bank is an agent, not exclusive to customer at all time to carry out Murabahah commodity trading that customer needs as a financing facilities to customer. Okay. Thirdly, Murabahah term financing. Murabahah term financing from the medium to long term. Generally, these products are used for the acquisition of asset acceptable and identifiable. In addition, it is used to carry out construction and manufacture of assets such as halal goods, stock, inventory and raw material. This term financing all accept collateral such as fixed deposit, real estate and other fixed assets. So, application of Murabahah product is important in society. Okay.
Based on Islam, there are laws that require Muslims to perform all acts that comply with Sharia in aspect of Islam, especially in the chapter in Muamalat related to transaction. Those it explained that its Murabahah contract is very important and should be monitored in terms of its implementation to ensure this contract can be applied in Islamic banking. That's all from me. Thank you.